the CEO of my own company. But it's always interesting to me that liberals think they are a majority in this country. And it is insane to me. I mean, look at the last election results. Really, I don't have to say anything else. But the problem is that conservatives are too scared to speak out. Look at some of the comments on my videos. There's thousands of comments, and it's usually like silent follower, wish I could repost, wish I could speak out, I don't want to lose my job. And it's always the same thing. And it's liberals thinking that they're a majority in this country. Guys, you are not. I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You are not the majority in this country. The problem is that if we speak out and we don't align with the liberal narrative, the liberal agenda, immediately you guys try to come for our jobs, our education, try to get us fired, try to cancel us. And that's where the line gets drawn, because people can't afford to lose their job. People can't afford to get fired. You know what I mean? Me, on the other hand, I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want because you guys can't get me fired. I'm my own fucking boss. Okay, so I'll be the spokesperson. And it is just insane to me that you guys think you're a majority. Like, in what fucking delusional land do you live in? But it has come to a point where it is quite literally a mental disorder at this point. I was just talking to one of my girlfriends. She's a nurse here in Florida. And yes, while Florida is majority red and there is majority conservatives that live here, there's going to be, you know, a few stragglers. There's going to be liberals, obviously, as with any state. And she works with a lot of liberal coworkers. And as being a nurse, you know, with everything that just happened, the nurse that lost his life, you know, with ICE and everything, she's in this group chat with all her coworkers, and people were just like commenting back and forth. Like, if you don't speak up about this, if you don't post on your story, like, you're basically supporting, you know, ICE and all that stuff. And it's just the most stupidest fucking shit.
What we see today is that a lot of people, especially on the liberal side, they can't understand and they can't take that you disagree with them because they're full of emotion. If they could take out the emotion and finally listen to people and understand why they don't think like them, maybe they'll come to the other side. But I give it to the liberals, I give it to the Democrats. They feel like they are the majority, where a lot of people don't think like them. And the reason why they don't speak up is, like she said, they fear for losing their job. There's a lot of people out there that if they speak up about certain things, they are losing their job. And then there's a lot of people out there that work for these companies that are very liberal that want you to think like them. If you don't, you will lose your job. So this is one of the things. It's very hard to be even in the political space, red or blue, because you will lose your job. Sometimes it's best to stay silent. But what I don't like about the liberals is they try to push their ideology on you. And then if you don't agree with everything they say, they shun you. They treat you, they're more like a gang. I grew up in Long Beach, California, and this reminds me of a gang. Either get down or lay down. But you're not going to have perfect ideology. I'm not going to agree with you on some things. You're not going to agree with me on some things. But these people cannot stand that you don't agree with them on everything. I think for me as a person, that's the biggest problem and issue about liberals and Democrats. They want you to believe everything that they say. I don't like Trump, neither should you. You should like ICE. Okay. You should like illegal immigrants. Okay, cool. Even if they're murderers and all that stuff, yeah, still be in support of them. Trump deranged syndrome, you got to have that. All these things that they believe in are false. They're wrong. Kind of makes them look crazy. But it's their reaction, and when you don't agree with them, it's what concerns me, because it's like a gang. It's super like a gang. It's super like a cult. And you're like, wait, I'm supposed to have my own ideology and I should be able to think whatever I want to think. And I don't have to agree with you. Me being a conservative, me being a Republican, I'm not yelling and shouting at Democrats and liberals and saying you're crazy and this and that because you don't believe everything that I believe in. I don't want you to believe in everything that I believe in. I like different thoughts, and it's okay to have different thoughts. And that's where the debate comes. That's where talking comes. And that's where I can see your point. You can see my point. What you see from the left, they don't want to see your point. Either you're with me or not. And you see the guy that was talking about the ICE agent, what to do to poison them, or the nurse, and then another nurse lost their job because they was talking about Caroline Levitt, and then people were supposed to say support the nurse. No, wrong is wrong. If you're a nurse and you're talking about doing something ill to somebody else and their baby, you're wrong. If you're a nurse and you're talking about you're not going to treat ICE agents, that has nothing to do with red or blue. It has to do with right and wrong. See, what we see from the blue side, it gets murky between right and wrong. If it goes against their beliefs, they automatically think that I'm wrong. But the thing that they're doing is wrong. So that's what scares me. That's what makes me nervous about the liberals and Democrats and being around them, is you really can't express your true view, because if you do, it's like a gang, you know? But what they believe in is weird because of some of the things that they do believe in is just wrong in humanity, right? It's wrong, period. Why would you believe in protecting illegal immigrants when the immigrants are taking jobs from you and me, so making us less economic stable? That's common sense. Why would you believe in, protecting illegal immigrants if they're murderers and killers? We should be putting them to jail and sending them back. It's common sense. I just think for me, when I look at the liberals and Democrats on social media, I look at them and say, where's the common sense? They're just following the cult. They're just following whatever somebody says, and because they want to belong to a group.
Immediately gave me PTSD flashbacks to when the whole shit was going on with George Floyd and that whole fucking bullshit. And everyone was posting their little black squares. And if you didn't post a black square, you were labeled as a racist. And that is really when I entered my era of just being a rebel and not giving a fuck about what people thought or said. And I didn't post that black square. You could go to my Instagram. You could scroll all the way down. There was never a black square posted because I was like, I am not feeding into this absolute mental disorder that I'm seeing unfold in front of my eyes. Like, what do you mean? You think me posting a story is going to do something? And it really just put into perspective, like, holy fucking shit. I genuinely cannot imagine working at like a typical corporate company that is left leaning where I couldn't speak out on my beliefs because there's just no way. There's just no way if I was making these videos, like these liberals would be coming after me left and fucking right trying to get me fired. And it's insane that they think they could speak out on their fucking opinions and we can't, even though we're a majority in this country. So anyways, it must be fucking exhausting. I don't know. I don't know how people do it. I'm not here saying that everybody should speak out because I understand a lot of people are just in a position where they physically can't. And there's a lot of neutrals too, which is totally fine. But I will always speak out. I'll always use my platform when I feel like.
What we see is that your opinion is your opinion. Respect people's opinion. I think we need to get to that point first before you even talk about anything. You have to respect that person. If that person doesn't agree with you, that doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean you have to fire them. That doesn't mean you have to gang up on them. See, what you start to see, especially from the left, if you're not with me, you're against me. And that's not right. Because why would you want to be around people that have all the same beliefs as you? It doesn't have some type of difference to where you can spark a conversation and make your idea better. But what you see is like, if you're not with me, you're against me. We have to start with just respecting people's opinion. There's some things that I understand about the liberals and Democrats that I'm like, okay, cool, that makes sense. It make more sense if we can tweak a little more this way, but what you're trying to do, it makes sense. But the liberals will never do that. You have liberals now voting against, what do they say? Well, you have liberals now voting in favor of keeping illegal immigrants here, even though they are killers, even though they've been convicted of stuff, still keeping them here. That's mind-boggling me. Why would you even vote for that? You are in Congress, you are in, whatever your political space is. At the end of the day, protecting of American citizens comes first, not your ideology. We have to start putting the American citizens first before we start putting our ideology, and respect everybody's opinion. Expect the thought, because when everybody's thoughts come together, we can have a great master thought that works out for everybody. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, we'll keep this thing rocking. Join the Go Getter Patreon. The link is in the description below. I appreciate you guys' support. No Filter Morning Show coming very soon. Getting all the details down, getting everything down, but I can't wait to start doing that. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and I'm going to keep this thing rocking, keep it going. I'm out.